Good morning, beloveds. Welcome to another episode of Coffee and Conversations. Although this one is going to be a bit more conversation than it is coffee because I'm drinking on some hot soup. So pour yourself up a cup and come on and join me. This is a message that I woke up with this morning, but I promise you want to stay with me until the end. In the last few weeks, I have seen a lot of people doing content and talking about monitoring spirits. And some of you know what those are, what that topic is about. But I was given a specific message as it pertains to monitoring spirits and your business. Okay? And so I want to talk to you this morning a little bit about monitoring spirits, business, and understanding the connection between identity and purpose. Okay? So let's just get right into it. I don't need to go into a long dissertation about what monitoring spirits are, but I'm going to give you some easy traits and characteristics that you can use to easily identify as it pertains to business. We're not talking about your personal life now. We're talking about your business, your commerce. Okay? And so those of you who are entrepreneurs, I want to talk to you about, because a lot of times we get caught up in, who's supporting you, who's not supporting you, and things like that, right? So let me just tell you now that monitoring spirits are flatterers. They will flatter you. They will give you all of the compliments, honeys, but they will not pay you. They are freeloaders. They're flatterers and freeloaders. That's number one. Number two is they don't value your business acumen, okay? In fact, they're going to try their best to milk every little bit of information out of you that they can, right? For free. They're going to do their best to act friendly, act like they're a fan or follower. Remember I said they're flatterers. They're going to act like they like you just to get access to your pearls of wisdom. But see, the Bible tells us not to sow our pearls amongst swine, right? And so you have to be careful of that, because I want us to stop giving everybody the benefit of the doubt. Modern society wants to tell you that you should just give everybody the benefit of the doubt. But God tells us we know the tree by the fruit it bears. If there's no fruit, they're not bearing anything, it's not of God. That's not somebody who was sent to you by God. They're not going to respect you. They're not going to respect your business. They're going to try to grab what they can and stay in close proximity to you so that they can suck whatever they can. All right? Monitoring spirits don't add anything. They're not sent to you for gain. Their goal is to corrupt, to plant seeds of doubt. They're never going to be your customer. They're not going to be your client. They're not going to be your comrade. They're coming to corrupt. They'll be the very ones who will suck all your information and then will go out into the community and sow seeds of doubt. They'll be the very ones to try to distract you from your purpose. Their goal is distraction. It is to keep you from your destiny. It's to monitor and to stay in close proximity and access the wisdom and anointing that you have even over your business so that they can divert your destiny. You guys understand? And so I want to tell you this with as much love as I can muster, beloveds. Everybody is not your assignment. Now, in business, one of the things, anybody that has been through business training, business school, entrepreneurship and those things, we talk a lot about who is your customer and identifying your customer. And when you're new in business, a lot of times people will ask you who is your customer, and the new person will say everybody. And the seasoned person will always tell you, no, that's the wrong answer. Everybody is not your customer. Beloveds, everybody is not your assignment. Your assignment, your customer, your client, they're all the same because it's all wrapped in your purpose. If you are endeavoring to have a God-centered business. So I want to talk to you about what a divine assignment looks like, right? Because everybody's not your assignment. You have to take the time to define who is your customer. Who are you sent to? Who are you anointed for? Who are you appointed to? These are things that you have to know. You can't be chasing the dollar. Now, that sounds a little bit odd because when you start business, nobody starts business to not make money, right? But you can't be chasing the money because if you chase the money, you're going to get all sorts of crap and garbage, right? You get anything and everything if you chase the money. You have to focus on your assignment, who you are called to, who are you appointed to and for. How do you determine that? You determine that by understanding a very important principle, and that is identity. Identity. I want you to understand that purpose is assigned to identity. God assigned our purpose when we were created at the beginning of time. He knew us before we knew ourselves. He knew what we would look like, how we would sound, and what our purpose, his purpose for us in this world would be. So there's no way that you can walk in purpose without accepting your identity. Now, I know somebody about to get mad at me because we are living in a day and age where nobody wants to claim the identity that they are assigned to. Y'all read that however you want to read it. I don't care. Because the truth is the truth anyhow, as my mama would say. You understand me? So you need to understand that until you accept and own your identity in God, you cannot walk in God's purpose for you because your purpose is assigned to your identity. And until you claim your identity, you cannot draw in the people that you're supposed to draw into your business based on your purpose. I get up every day now. I didn't before. Before, I used to just pray, God, prosper me. God, send me abundance. God, pour out the window of blessings for me. Now, I get up every morning and I ask God to send me the clients that he wants me to have. I ask him to send me clients who are able to see who I am in him, who are drawn to my voice, and who are ready to support and prosper my business because they know who I am. And the only way they can know who I am is for me to stand up and own my identity. So let me get a little bit personal here. And tell you guys about my journey. I've always been gifted and known God's gifts for me, but I also didn't really want to claim the calling. But there's no way I can do anything, not personally, not in my business, not in my hobbies, not in anything that is true to me. I cannot do those things outside of God because it's all wrapped in my purpose. Even when I design a dress, I am ministering to the person that I'm designing that dress for. I pray for them. I ask God to show me their needs in the fittings, in the measurements, all of those things. I am talking to them from the inside. The first time I took the runway and someone gave me the mic and they asked me about my business, I said, I dress a woman from the inside out. Not even understanding In that day, I was still speaking about my purpose. God was using my mouth to speak my identity even before I knew it, right? And so I want you to understand that identity and impact and purpose all go hand in hand, okay? Let me give you a little bit of a personal testimony. I don't usually talk about people per se in my videos, but this time I'm going to, because it all ties together, and it woke me up this morning, and I hope to God I can get through this part of it without tears, because it's actually very real. So let me tell you a story about a real person that I met. Once upon a time, I woke up scrolling through my TikTok, and I met this woman named Laquita. She was just Laquita to me. She came up on my For You page. And for some odd reason, I was just drawn to her voice. I didn't know anything about her except that she was a woman who was also married to a Nigerian. That's it. That's all I knew. And to this day, I've not met her personally. I've talked to her on the phone several times. We have interacted. At one point, she was led to invite a group of women to a prayer call. And I said yes, and many women said yes. And so we entered into prayer all across the world. And that led to more engagements where we all prayed together and worshiped together. And then that led to her forming a group. And then that led to that group growing into a ministry. And that ministry is now a fully formed and fully established ministry. And that led to, even before the forming of the ministry, it became clear that she was a highly anointed woman and that she was a prophetess. And then that led to her beginning to speak into the lives of all of the women in that group. But as God would give her information or messages or prophecies for any particular woman, she would go forth in that. And so this was even still while we were back in the Gambia, and there were some situations going on, and people were being unalived, and all of those things were happening. And I was praying hard about some things for me and my husband. We were praying together about what we should do and how we should go forward. And I was in some ways crying a whole lot in that group about my life being hard and things not working out and not having money and all of these things. And Laquita, who had then become prophetess Laquita to me, began to speak into my life. And she said to me, as I continued to speak the problems, she said, first of all, woman of God, I'm not here to address your problems. I'm here to provoke you back into God's presence. And then she began to speak her identity. She said to everyone in that group that I am called only to leaders. I know who I am in God. I am called to leaders. If you are in this group, it can only be because you are destined to be a leader. You either already are a leader or you are destined to be a leader, because I am called to leaders. You understand? And so I began to understand that I was not fully walking in who I was supposed to be. And so as I continued on and was in the Catalytic Breakthrough Ministries group, I kept being pulled and tugged on all sorts of ways. Eventually, I stepped out of the group, not because of anything bad. I stepped out of the group because she had so affected me that it was time for me to stand up and run. It was time for me to proclaim who I am in God. It is because I met somebody who understood their identity in God that I was impacted to claim my own identity in God. It is because of that that I can stand and say that I am a minister, that I am a woman of God, that I am a missionary and outreach worker, that I am called to the nations. I'm not called to the pulpit, beloveds. I'm called to the nations to help people get free, not just free by crossing the water from America to Africa, but to get free in your spirit, to get free in your mind. That drives how I approach what customers I'm accepting and what customers come to me. I don't actually go out and do a lot of looking for customers. I market, I put out the information that I'm supposed to put out, and then I wait for God to send who is supposed to come to me. Do you understand? This is important, beloveds. This is important because if you don't claim your identity, you also cannot claim or reap the benefits of your purpose. And so just like God sent her to pop up on my For You because she had something that was for me, something that I needed. I want to tell y'all that God is bigger than the algorithm. It was not by accident or mistake that Laquita, prophetess, now pastor, now Dr. Ibigwan, came across my For You. God sent me. God sent me. Knowing that I would scroll and that she would pop up. And because I now claim my identity and proclaim who I am, I don't have a problem saying no to customers that don't fit. I don't have a problem identifying when those monitoring spirits are trying to leech on. I just let some people go. Because now I am the one who's coming up on the For You page. I had a client recently that contacted me, and when I got on the phone with them and asked them how they found me, guess what they told me? They were searching. They were searching for some information to shift their life. They want to make a major move in their life. They were searching. They were searching, and they were going down the rabbit hole, and they were scrolling. And guess who popped up on there For You? It was me. Because I claimed my identity and say without excuses, without apologies, who I am, what my identity is in God. Now I have something for others. And when they're searching, I'm the one who comes up on their For You. Here's what I want you guys to really take note of today. That monitoring spirits come to distract you from your destiny. They are never going to help you gain. They're not sent to gain anything. They are sent to distract and keep you from your destiny. Let them go, beloveds. They're never going to prosper you. Focus yourself on who you are supposed to be. I've got a question for you this morning. Have you claimed your actual identity? Or are you trying to walk around wearing a false identity? Because if you're wearing a false identity, you're going to keep struggling in your purpose because you cannot have your purpose without claiming your identity in God. You don't get to pick your own identity. God assigns your identity. Whoever God says you are, until you accept that, you're going to struggle even in your business, even in your personal life, because you are not walking in what is for you. God has something for you that you are supposed to give to his people. The Bible says that your gift makes room for you and places you before great men or places you before kings, depending on which version that you're reading. Your gifts. Where do your gifts come from, beloveds? The same place your identity comes from. God. So until you claim all of that, purpose will never be your portion. If you want the purpose, you have to claim the identity that God assigned to you. I hope this is helping somebody this morning. Okay? So, I hope you guys have stuck in there with me, but I want you now to take a good hard look at your life and look at the people that are surrounding you and look at the people that reach out to you and look at the people that you're talking to and that you're investing your time, talents, and energy into. Your time, your talent, your treasures. Thank you for joining me this morning. Remember to like, subscribe, and share the video. You guys stay with me. I'm going to be giving you more meaningful conversations and messages as God gives them to me. Okay? And if you want to read the full message as it was given to me in the wee hours of the morning, I'm going to post it on my Facebook page. So the link is in the description and you can go over there and read the full thing. But I pray that this bless somebody this morning, okay? Watch out for monitoring spirits. Claim your identity so that you can walk in your purpose, all right? Y'all have a great day today, as my mama would say, on purpose.